Barack Obama, who promised that he would not attend the summit, has now broken that promise following his continued streak of being nothing but the liar-in-chief, even outlying Richard Nixon and Bill Clinton. We're going to be breaking that down today. And also government hijacking of health care, the nanny state wanting to run your life. When we've read the 2,070-plus page bill and gone over the subsections here together in the last few months, it has rationing of care, unelected government bodies decide what care you get, not doctors. 2.5 to 5%, depending on your tax bracket of your check, will be taken. On top of that, you'll be forced to get insurance or be fined yearly. The refusal will be a $250,000 fine and 5 years in prison. And this is from CNN today. Obama to meet with Senate Democrats to push health care. There's a revolt even by the Democrats and Republicans. Senate Republicans failed Saturday to eliminate $42.1 billion in cuts to Medicare home health care service in the health care bill. And that's only one of scores of cuts. So you have the Republicans fighting to stop $42+ billion a year being cut from Medicare. We've seen this with Obama. For every $30 he gives to offshore banks of taxpayer money, $1 goes to social welfare net. Now, I don't believe in socialism. I don't believe in big government. Because I know that socialism always turns into a way for elite organizations to steal the taxpayer money. And then crumbs are given to the public, and that makes the public dependent. But here is such a great example of how big corporations and big money, it was the insurance companies that actually wrote the health care bill, and they bragged about that. The head lobbyist for the health care insurance companies of the United States has been all over television bragging that, hey, we're not against government health care. Why, we wrote it. And you bet they wrote it. It's a giant tax paid to them, as Dennis Kucinich, a real socialist. I don't agree with his policies, but I agree with his honesty. Wrote articles saying why I voted against the health care bill. And then another article he wrote saying health care bill is a giant bailout to the insurance companies. But every time you're against government-run health care, the talking point is, oh, you work for the insurance companies. Isn't that just special? So imagine this upside-down world where the Republicans are trying to block all these cuts, one of them $42.1 billion a year, or roughly 25% of the Medicare expenditures. So Obama is having a 25% cut in the money you get. Now, you've already paid into this in taxes your whole life. They take your money, just like Social Security. If the average worker invested in Social Security for 35 years, they'd get over $2 million. But instead, you get negative return, and you get on average about $450,000. You get fully 75% less back on your money. You pay Social Security your whole working life, and you get 75% less than you would have been invested in guaranteed government bonds at 4%. Does it matter, though? The general public can't figure that out. The general working person has money taken out of their check. They don't understand it. A lot of working people actually think that when you pay a bunch of taxes, that somehow you're getting it over on the rich guys, when the big moneyed elites, the 0.1%, as a unified group, lobby for bigger government. Because it's bigger government that gives them the monopolies they need and gives them the corporate welfare they rely on. Now, I got more emails this week, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that I didn't even have time to read, but scanning over them saying, how dare you, Mr. Jones, be against government health care? You are a minion of the insurance companies. And I just explained to you that the insurance companies are for this. And similarly, people have now gone through the thousands of emails, hundreds of documents from the head UN Climate Research Center that supplied the data to all the other governments and universities. That's on record, the head climate facility, not some backwater. Engaged in lies and ClimateGate, engaged in fraud, consciously, knowingly lying, persecuting other scientists that were telling the truth, getting people fired, blocking government FOIA requests, colluding with the government to keep the documents secret. Now, going through the emails, it has been discovered by the Times of London, whatsupwiththat.com, Climate Depot, and others, and we have these linked up on prisonplanet.com. ClimateGate CRU looks to big oil for support. And these emails go back 6 years ago about how they're meeting with Dutch Royal Shell, BP, and others who are actually funding them for this research. British Petroleum, Energy, Eastern Electricity, Greenpeace International, Leverhulme Trust, National Power, Nuclear Installations Inspectorate, Shell, Sultan of Oman, World Wildlife Fund, which is a eugenics front. This is the groups. In fact, I'll show prisonplanet.tv viewers the emails. Here are the emails. Here's one from 2000. Had a great meeting, very good meeting with Shell yesterday. Only a minor part of our agenda. And they talk about how they're taking over the economy. I mean, these guys are a joke. Here's another one. Had a great meeting with the CEO of Siemens. On and on and on and on and on and on. Now, last week, I showed you the New York Times. I mean, just Google it for yourself. Shell, cap and trade is a good thing. Another one, ExxonMobil supports global carbon tax, Wall Street Journal. I mean, the head lobbyist for the healthcare industries in the U.S. and the head lobbyist for the insurance companies brag that they wrote the takeover of healthcare. Big corporations like that. They like consolidation. The biggest fortunes out there are made off government. As John D. Rockefeller I said, competition is a sin. And here are the emails with the head climatology unit for the UN having meetings with Dutch Royal Shell, BP, all of them. I mean, folks, don't believe me. Open a magazine up. Half the ads that you see literally are for global taxes and global greening. Nothing to do with greening. Nothing. Absolutely nothing to do with it. I mean, I walk through the airport when I fly around the country. I was in LAX. Half the billboards inside the concourse were oil companies and computer companies and defense companies pushing the global system. And they candy coat it and talk of electric cars and wind power. It has nothing to do with that. It's about a select group at a global government level being able to control our lives and being able to decide what businesses you can have, what energy you can have, what technology can be developed. It's all in the Copenhagen Climate Change Treaty. We're going to break down what this treaty does. They're meeting starting tomorrow. The head of the UN, the head of the EU, the head of the IPCC, the head of the UN, Ban Ki-moon, are all in the news calling for planetary government to reduce population. That's more important than the Dallas Cowboys. I will assure you. Stay with us.